Does the IRS consider your non-taxable income when determining your ability to pay in an offer in compromise? Let's get into it by way of a question from Alarming Register 968. Offer in compromise and IHSS caregiver income. IHSS is in-home supportive services, right? And she'll kind of explain what it is in the question. Offer in compromise and IHSS caregiver income. All right, I had little choice but to establish a monthly payment plan with the IRS. I owe a little less than 20K, and I have been compliant ever since I established the payment plan. There were 3 or 4 major life events that led to the back taxes, including a major life-changing illness with an 18-month recovery time that does not quite get me to SSDI disability, yet limits me. Had a divorce, forced sale of home, lost a major job, COVID, losing everything in a natural disaster, was deemed as such by the president. I literally lost everything when I became ill, then lost everything a second time in the fire, and now I'm almost 60. I have 0 assets, a car payment, and not a penny to my name. On the bright side, my only 2 debts are the IRS and my car. During this time, I began receiving pay for in-home caregiving to my mom. That money is now nothing to sneeze at, nearly $90,000 per year and non-taxable. Will the IRS count this money and immediately disqualify me? Okay. And she goes into some situations of programs where it's not counted against her and others where it is. Bottom line, folks, is look, this is cash into the bank account on a regular basis. This is definitely considered income when it comes to calculating your disposable income and therefore your reasonable collection potential for offer in compromise purposes. Okay, so the answer to this question is yes, the IRS counts non-taxable income, as long as it's regular cash flow coming into your bank account, as income when it comes to the offer in compromise. Now, on the flip side, you also get, say your business, you get to deduct, right, from your monthly cash flow, cash expenses that are not necessarily deductible, right? For example, let's say you own a commercial building or something that you use for, and that's where you run your business out of. You can deduct not just the interest, right, like you usually can on your tax return, but you can deduct the principal as well, right? It's a cash flow analysis, okay? And whether or not something is taxable from a tax liability tax return standpoint doesn't have any bearing on whether it's cash flow to you, right? And this IHSS caregiver income alarming register is definitely cash flow to you, for performing services, right? Granted, it's performing services for your own mother, but this is performing services. This is regular cash flow to you. It would count for those purposes. So yeah, folks, a lot of people get tripped up about this. You get people who call in, they're getting VA disability, and they're like, well, it's not taxable in my tax return. Why is the IRS considering it for an offer in compromise? And it's because the offer in compromise formula doesn't care if something's taxable or not. The IRS is looking at your wherewithal to pay based on your cash flow, your monthly disposable income, and your available equity and your equity and assets, right? So, I know that can kind of be a hard pill to swallow, for some folks, but that's really what the IRS is getting at with that. That being said, let's say alarming register that you, based on IRS math, and you can watch my video on IRS offering compromise math, link to that video at the top of the screen. Let's say based on IRS math, you can still afford to pay, right? Afford to pay. It's a long shot. I would probably just try to work something out with ACS before I went this route. But it's a long shot, but you might go for an effective tax administration offering compromise. Okay, and the only reason that I'm saying that is because you have kind of a somewhat convincing sob story, right, that you mentioned here. Okay, the divorce, sell a home, lost a major job, COVID, losing everything in a natural disaster, right? I literally lost everything when I became ill, then lost everything a second time, right? So a major life-changing illness, You know, losing everything right, and then losing everything here, right? You're 60 years old with not much to your name. You know, ETA offers and compromise, they have to go through national review with the national, IRS office. So, but if you write a convincing enough sob story, you might get an effective tax administration offer and compromise. The IRS can approve those even if you have full reasonable collection potential to pay your tax debt off. Okay, I've seen it happen. It's happened here with Choice Tax Relief. Okay, but just so you know, it's a long shot, right? It's kind of like it's more like you're trying to, just basically persuade somebody that it would not be in step. It would not be in the government's best interest to make you to pay this, because if the general public knew about this, they would probably frown on the IRS's collection procedures, right? If they knew all the facts, if they knew about the fire and the illness, and you're 60 with not much, and yeah, you're getting 90 a year, but so take care of your own ill elderly mother, right? So I'm just putting that out there, food for thought, not saying, oh yeah, go out and do an ETA offer and compromise. Probably what we would probably do in this case, unless the client wanted to pay us more money to pursue an ETA offer and compromise. But probably where we'd end up is trying to work out some sweet deal with ACS before we went the OIC route. So anyway, folks, I hope that's helpful. I hope it makes sense. Bottom line, yeah, that non-taxable cash flow, even if it's not taxable in your tax return, it is cash flow to you from which the IRS demand that you pay them from. Okay, and it factors into offer and compromise math. Okay, folks, if you owe the IRS at least $10,000 in back taxes, or you owe your state at least $10,000 in back taxes, or you have multiple years of unfiled tax returns, you qualify for a free consultation with us here at Choice Tax Relief. Just give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Or you go to choicetaxrelief.com, and we will reach out to you. I have some other videos here on the left-hand side of the screen pertaining to offer and compromise basics for your education and enjoyment. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.